Happy to have you all here on a Wednesday in October, racing through the month of October as we are. So let's transition. Just if you need a little movement as you come to standing, shake it out, kind of warm the hands up a little bit. And I usually like to start with hip circles, the feet a little wider apart, and just moving in a circular direction one way. Just warming up the hips, the lower back. Reverse and go in the other direction. And then as we come out of the hip circles, we'll get back to pulling prana today. So this is a nice move, especially in the mornings. And you can bring the hands in front, maybe warm them up a little bit if you feel at all chilly, even in Tucson. The mornings are a little chilly now. So soften the legs and bring the arms forward. Take the palms out so the backs of the hands are facing. Breathe in. And make distant hands pull back and breathe out. So the pelvis is tilting forward, back, forward, back. Inhale, exhale. Good. So you'll definitely warm up a little with this. You can go faster, more vigorously if you want to. Good. A couple more times. Once more. Just pause, and I wanted to go back to a mudra that I shared with you perhaps just this week. And I'm not going to be a mirror image. I'm going to do what I'm describing, which is to cup my left hand to my belly and cup my right hand like so. Okay, so the palm is facing out with the right hand and up just below the belly button on the left. And you can just kind of relax the shoulders here, soften the gaze. Just begin to bring your awareness to the breath. This is Yahavarada Mudra. Some of you done it recently. For me, the mudra helps us to deepen the breath. You may feel right away a nice calming effect. Letting go of all busy, possibly fretful thoughts, hopefully not too fretful today. But it is a mudra that is said to help us to release and let go of fear as well. So again, not that I'm assuming everyone is fearful out there, but there are a lot of things going on in the world, and we're just these little beings on the planet, and it can feel a bit overwhelming at times. So just let go of anything tense or tight, and allow this movement to help you come into the present moment, here and now. A sense of calm, perhaps security, well-being. From here, just whenever you're ready, bring one hand to the chest, one hand to the belly, and just continue to focus on your breath. And feel the shift from the busyness of the day to the mat and to the practice, appreciating this time that we can share together. A little scan, notice how you're feeling on this Wednesday morning. And it may be sensation in the body you want to attune to, wrists, knees, ankles, maybe energy levels or the mood, the emotions you have going on today. Just accept wherever you're at. Release the hands, and just make sure you're not locking the knees. You want to stay relaxed in your stance. And just with the palms facing forward, standing nice and tall, we'll take a moment to open to an intention or an affirmation. So you might just feel this sense of being quite receptive here to this positive thought that might influence your practice in your day. Peace, optimism, balance, and whatever comes to mind. And with our intention set, we'll take a big breath in. Exhale the hands to the heart, and let's just continue with that big breath. A nice inhalation with the arms coming up, and then our half sun salutes. This is just a great way to kind of get into the practice, I find. Folding forward, lifting up. Exhale as you fold, inhale as you lift. And one more time. Now as you come up, I'm going to do this V for victory arms. You might take the feet a little wider. I don't usually do this at the start of the practice here, but it's just a nice one, just getting back to that idea of releasing fear, maybe that intention I had a few days ago of courage, optimism. So it's very energizing, uplifting, and especially I find as the days get a little shorter, maybe the mood shifts a bit with that. So this is a nice one just to keep the mood up and to keep the energy bright. Couple breaths here. Inhale, exhale, release. And then if you're not at the top of the mat, you can come forward. There will be a little balance in a moment, so if you need a wall or furniture or something nearby, just keep that in mind. We'll take our standing mountain pose, and we'll drop the arms down, inhale and lift. just going to take the right foot back. So this is our warm up here, which would mean we can take the hands to the hips, find our balance, and then just do a little pulsing, relaxing the shoulders and the face, but gently engage in the tummy so you feel core support. This high lunge. Okay. Now you may have had a premonition that this was coming today because we started standing. A little fist of fire. And this is the one, of course, where we spread the fingers and then the fisted hands and pull back. I'm going to move a little bit farther away from my bookshelf here because you have the option of kicking off of that back foot, and then you also have the option of really kicking the leg as it comes forward. Okay, so take it to where you want to go. We'll keep it going for a little bit. It is working the balance, proprioception. A couple more times. I'm doing a few kicks, not on every time though. And then bring your foot down, grounded and steady, big breath in, and we'll just fold to get the warm up into the second side. Your left foot back, bring it on up, put hands to the hips so you can pulse here, and just feel that openness of the chest, and keeping the shoulders relaxed. They just, always tend to want to get involved and hunch up towards the ears, which is not serving anything. In your steady stance, fists of fire. And you could always stay here if your balance is not in the mood for being on one leg already. But if you do feel comfortable kicking off of the back foot, join me. If you have room, watch out for pets, furniture, people, and other things in your house, but you can add a kick. And a little bit more. Nice and warm. And then just come down 2 feet to the floor, big breath in here. Now a slow and mindful transition through a forward fold to your first downward dog. So you can step right on back and just walk the dog, get the back of the legs stretched out. We'll shift to plank. I have a few plank options today, so just be mindful of the shoulder and wrist situation that you may be experiencing. 3 rounds. Push right over the wrists if you can. This last round, down to the knees, and we'll have a flying cow. So you're allowed to move, and we were doing flying sheep the other day. And then, there was another animal that came into play, but any sound you like, or just flutter and clear the mind, bringing some nice shiny energy into your sphere of being. And then we'll come down to all fours, spreading the fingers nice and wide. And I want to just do some hip circles. I'm going to take my knees a little wider and just settle the hips back, shift to the side, forward and around. And if you feel like adding a little flexion and extension, you can kind of round the back as you come up. And drop the belly, lift the heart as you go back. Look like the cat-cow stretch. Your hip circles to both directions. And then we're going to come back and we'll work the brain a little bit here, extending your left leg. So find your balance here, and then your right arm. So opposite sides of the body extended. And just about as you feel good and steady, switch sides. You all know this version where we think we're going to just hang out in our comfort zone, but then we have to make those little adjustments to go to the other side. You can go faster than I'm going if you want to, or slow it down. Okay, last time here. Now we're coming back to table, and I'm going to go into a fairly vigorous option here, which is flying plank. And it's going to take us into a low lunge. So join me if you'd like, and modify if you're not in the mood for flying plank. Come up to down dog, stretch it out a little. Maybe relax your head and just feel a nice release of the neck. Okay, this is invigorating, as I like to say. Lift your right leg. This is your 3-legged dog. You can do a quick hip opening stretch. Drop the heel towards the left side of the mat. And then square your hips. Now I might need to move my hands a little farther forward. I'm going to shift to plank and hug the thigh towards the rib cage. Okay, so we've been doing this for a while. it does have, you know, a certain amount of intensity to it. So see what you think. And then on this last round, we'll try to get the foot through for our low lunge. Abracadabra, here we are. All the way up, give your right foot forward, breathe in. And breathe out. And again, inhale. And exhale. I have a thought today in our low lunge position. Why don't we begin by bringing the hands to the floor and lifting the back leg just for a nice little hip stretch here. Nice deep breaths. And this is a bit different than what I usually do. I'm going to offer the possibility of coming up to the high lunge. Okay, so that's a challenge in and of itself. Find your balance if you're coming up, as I'm showing here. And then if you care to take eagle arms, your left arm over your right. Lift, lower, elbows. And then you could stay here, but just to, again, make it a little different than what we sometimes do, I'm going to offer the floating off of your back foot. Again, move away from furniture if you need to, like I do. So just a brief little balance in our Virabhadrasana 3 with eagle arms. In and out. And then we're just going to go back the way we came here. So we're going to go back to the high lunge, find your balance. Release the arms, maybe do a little flutter like we did when we were kneeling, if you want to. And then come down and downward dog or table, your choice. And possibly a flow if you don't mind a little bit more plank, or you can go down, plank and back 2 or 3 times. Off of the hands for a moment, just come up onto the knees again. So you can circle the hands. If you bring the hands to the rim of the pelvis here, it's a little move from Qigong to release and relax the wrists. Both directions. And just do a little of our wise owl move. So I like this one on a regular basis. I think you all know it now. The head turns one direction, palms face forward. Head comes to neutral, the palms face back. To the other side, inhale. I think it's making us wise when we do this. I have that feeling. Wise owl giving us wisdom. But once more to each side, inhale. Exhale. We'll come back to all fours. Now we'll be doing the second side of the flying plank. Let's do just a quick round of cat-cow for good measure, flexing and extending the spine. That's good. And up to your down dog. This is working for you. Lift your left leg, 3-legged dog. And you bend that leg, drop the heel towards the right side of your body. Nice hip open and stretch. And then look towards your hands. You may need to adjust a little because you're going to be coming forward. You wiggle your back foot back. You'll want the shoulders over the wrists as you come forward. Back, and you're hugging that thigh towards the rib cage. A lot of core muscles. And on the third round or so, we'll take the same movement, but we'll get a little momentum and swing the foot to the top of the mat. Low lunge, inhale. Exhale. One more time. We'll bring the hands to the floor. We're a little more traditional lunge here. Just kind of checking with how things feel, pressing back through that heel to the heart, lifting the chest. Now we're going to come up to the high lunge. Mindful. Find your center, finding your balance. And the right arm over the left. Eagle arms. Lift, lower. And as I said on the first side, you could stay here. You don't have to come into the balance. If you're going to come off of your right foot to balance, make sure you have enough room in front of you. And press into your Virabhadrasana 3. In and out. Come down with care. Release. Lift the arms. Take a little flutter. one I like. I do this more in chair yoga. I'm just going to have you bring the arms down parallel to the floor and stay in your lunge. Open and close the hands vigorously just to energize through the fingertips. Relax the shoulders, and then like little raindrops going down to the earth, patter your fingers. Okay, we're going to come back down. Now we're going to get onto our stomachs in a moment. So you have a choice. It might feel good just to stretch out in down dog. If you want more movement in your practice, you can certainly take a little more of a flow. Do another couple rounds of plank to down dog. When you're ready to come down, just come down with care. I'm going to just adjust the screen a little bit here. See what we're doing. With care. And then time here to rest, maybe crocodile pose, which I really love. The legs are wide, the wrists are crossed, the head is supported. With your breaths and just release, let go, move along, anything you don't need. And just enjoy feeling the sense of being in the present moment, here and now. And my thought is to have us come to one side today. So this is a set that we do regularly, and I just enjoy coming back to it. Doesn't matter which side you start on, we'll do the same thing to both sides. The legs are straight and stacked. Remember, some of you may feel better in the neck, having your head down on your straight arm like so. And I usually feel okay supporting the head like this, and then I can kind of feel like I'm a little more connected to everybody out there. So the legs are straight, my other hand's to the floor for support. We're just going to lift and lower the top leg. 3, 4, or 5 times. And then lift and hold. And then you're pressing into that bottom pinky toe, and you're looking up at your foot, deciding what you want to hold on to, your shin, your thigh, maybe your big toe, if that feels manageable. And then shift the gaze up towards the ceiling. And once you kind of get in a steady position here, just soften the face and then breathe. This is called Vishnu's couch, named after the Hindu deity Vishnu, who rides on an ocean of milk on a bed of snakes. The snake heads protect him from the sun. Just allow the breath to be calm and enjoy the really different sort of position than we would ever be in during the day here. And release. I wanted to do one more with the legs straight, so you could keep your arm probably as it is. We're just going to lift both legs at the same time. And I don't do this one regularly, and every time I do, I feel like it takes a lot of work to get the message from the brain down to the legs. So try to lift and lower 3, 4, or 5 times. This is good for the hips, pelvic area, and the core in general. And when you feel complete, take a breather on your belly, and just whatever you enjoy here. It could be windshield wiping the feet, or going back to crocodile pose. I'm just going to turn on my mat so that for the second side I can still be facing the screen. When you're ready, you can turn on to your second side, and do make sure you're comfortable with either your arm extended or your head supported like so. You get yourself nice and steady here, second side. If you can't see me that well because you've turned to one side, it's okay. We're just doing the exact same thing that we did on the first side. Lifting and lowering. And then you'll see what you get hold of as you lift the leg. And one side might be different than the other, so I might just go a little lower on my leg. You can still get to the big toe possibly, but feel free to just hold wherever it's comfortable. And shift your gaze up towards the ceiling, relax your face. Breathe. There's the word in Sanskrit called the drishti. Drishti is the gaze. Focus our gaze on one point. Keeps the mind wandering. And we'll come down. And then just stacking the legs here. We're going to try to lift both legs at the same time and lower. So 3, 4, or 5 rounds of this. And clearing away some of those neural pathways or making new ones possibly, depending on what the situation is in the brain at this time. As you feel complete, I'm going to come back to the top of my mat, but you'll just roll onto your belly again. And just kind of come back to neutral. You can rock the hips. And I'm just going to give a choice here. So if you would like to pause and rest and just feel the nice support of the earth beneath you, that is great. If you'd like to take a gentle back bend, you can come up in locust, arms and legs lifting, the shoulders rolling back. And then some folks I know enjoy getting into bow pose. So if it's a day when you feel like a deeper back bend, you can hold on to your ankles or tops of the feet. And I don't think I'll do a lot of this today, but some people rock for a little more massage to the digestive system if you feel like that. Whatever you're taking, just another moment or two. And then a counter stretch when you're ready, coming up and back to child's pose. And open the knees nice and wide here, and just feel that traction of the spine. I often say if you were only to do one pose, child's pose would be just great. It could be your whole practice for an afternoon if you need a break from whatever you've been doing. You can relax the head on the earth. And as you have your head resting on the earth, it's really a sense of kind of surrendering and just releasing. And I find it really helps to release the busyness in the brain. The head is supported that way. Take one more time. Child's pose. And if there are people who want a more active practice, you can take this time to press back to down dog and do a little float plank, maybe cobra and back up. So add that if you want to. We don't do this regularly, and I know not everyone practices this, but as you come up, if you would like a moment or two in hero pose, we're sitting on the heels here. This is a nice stretch for the quads, quite a deep stretch for the ankles also. For some, it's a little tricky in the knees, so that's why we don't do a whole lot. And we'll just continue to make our transition up to standing, either to a low squat or a down dog, or just coming up any way you want to. Take the hands to the heart and feel that we're back in our familiar standing position. And breathe out, your body adjust to what we've done, and come back to your intention or affirmation if you have one. And then we'll release the hands, shake things out a little bit here. I wanted to do this. Did I do this at the start of the practice? I meant to. Maybe I didn't. We'll do it now. We're going to just soften the legs and like you're dusting some nice powder off of your hands. Okay, make some noise. And then just hold your hands like so and feel the energy, the vibrancy, the tingling, the flow of chi through the fingers, palms up into the arms. And then we'll do a little balancing of the chi with heaven and earth. So find a comfortable stance, a little bending of the legs. So this is the one where we flex the wrists and press one hand towards the sky, towards the heaven, the other hand towards the earth. Okay? And then you can kind of shift arms any way you like. I was showing a while back going through windmill arms and then pressing to the sky, to the earth. So however you make that transition, just really feel that you're pressing in those two opposite directions, which brings us into a place of balance, lightening and lifting, grounding and centering. Now you could shift your gaze also, do a couple rounds of looking down, a couple rounds of looking up. Maybe once more to each side, balancing those energies. As you come back down, big breath in, and we'll just do a little retrieving the moon from the sea, bend the legs, and find that bright round moon. You're picking it up out of the ocean and tossing it in the sky where it belongs. So a couple more rounds here. And one more time, big bright moon, back up in the sky where it belongs. And then your hands to your belly, feet a little closer together, breathe in and breathe out. Feel the warmth of the body, feel that nice sense of awakening the chi, the energy, the life force within. And release the hands. We'll come to the top of the mat again and we'll get into another little flow. So let's start in standing mountain pose. I have something coming up that we have not done for a little while, so we'll see how it goes today. first thing that was familiar, reaching up, breathing in, forward, breathing out. Take your right foot back, Virabhadrasana 1. And I thought today we might do the version where we circle the arms back and just hold. So this opens the heart center. I'm going to turn a little bit so you can see. It's the idea of that just beautiful autumnal breeze. Not too chilly, just the right temperature. Blowing the arms back, opening the chest, opening the heart. Okay, so we're going to straighten the front leg, hands to the hips, elongate the spine, breathe in, and come forward as you breathe out. Some of you will likely bring your head pretty close to your knee. I'm not going to go down that far, but you can go as far as you're comfortable going. The feet are very active here. They're helping with the balance. Both legs are straight. Come up. Here's what we have not done for a while. Lift your right arm and then elongate again. And then this time bring your right arm across to your left leg, your thigh, your knee, your shin. Some of you will go quite a ways down. If you have a yoga block, you can even go to a yoga block. I'm just going to go near my knee there. Too far down. This is revolved triangle, twisted triangle. Okay, we'll unwind and bend the front leg and have the option of either bringing the hands behind the head, fingers interlaced, or that little deeper stretch where you kind of slide one hand on top of the other down towards the middle of the back. Okay, so you can go as deeply as you want to into this and take a back bend if you care to. From here, getting so fancy today, we're going to come into dancer. All right, so you can just release your arms and take your right arm back to find your right foot. Lift your left arm up. I got to move a little bit here. So the baby dancer is here. Full dancer is here. Back bend to balance, strengthening it more. And just for those who might want a little something different in dancer, there is a double dancer where you try to hold on to your foot with both hands. Enjoy your Natarajasana, dancer pose. Ready to come out, breathe in. And just take a ragdoll here as you breathe out. Go slowly down. And relax the head. Keep the arms kind of floppy. Or in your forward fold. Slowly. As you come up, I like to keep the eyes open here. Roll the shoulders back. We'll take a pause with Divi Mukham Mudra, two-headed mudra, the pinky and the ring fingertips touching. So the hands are kind of cupped below the lower belly. This is another pose that helps us to deepen the breath. It can help us to feel a sense of contentment, security, and well-being. Reduce your breath, come back to your intention. Body digest what we've done. Divi Mukham Mudra, we'll be going to the second side. So back more or less to the top of the mat. Big breath in. Exhale, fold. Left foot back. All the way up. Now I thought maybe I would vary it a little bit. We did the autumnal breezes, blowing the arms back. And not to rush us into winter, but we could do a little cross-country skiing on this side. So you're leaning forward a little bit, your tummy's engaged. And you can make gently fisted hands. So if you ever did go cross-country skiing, you'll know this arm movement well. Keep going. And come back up. And we'll be straightening the front leg, hands to the hips. So the first thing here is our forward fold. And as I say, each person goes just as far as they want to go. The feet are quite active. And you may get your head, pretty close to your knee. Some folks will even touch the nose to the knee. I'm not going that far. Slowly, we're going to keep the legs straight, heading towards revolved triangle. The left arm lifts, and you extend the spine long. And we'll find the twist. So it's a little easier to see on the side because I'm twisting towards the screen. Across to my opposite leg, my chest opening. You can keep the hand on the hip or extend that right arm for a little easy twist. so necessary. Oxygen. Come back, unwind, and then your choice hands behind your head, fingers interlaced, or a little stack, one hand on top of the other, or the deeper back bend. And just getting into dancer on the second side. Your left arm can stay back. It's going to find your foot back there. The right arm is going to come up. It's a baby dancer. The knee points towards the floor. Full dancer, kind of deeper back bend. Vrajasana is the name of the pose in Sanskrit. I don't know what the double dancer would be called in Sanskrit, but you could try double dancer if you want to find your foot with both hands. Longer if you want to. When you feel ready to come down, release, and just do a little folding and coming up for a chi wash. That idea of liquid just splashing some cool water on us. Bending down, scooping up some fresh water or bright light, whatever you want to imagine. And one more time. And we'll pause again here. Maybe one hand to the chest, one hand to the belly. Body adjust. We've done a lot of different things already, so see how you're feeling. And then just a little bit more standing with the legs wide. And what was I thinking today? Oh, I thought we better stir the pot. So as you come to your wide stance, bend the legs, engage the tummy and the pelvic floor, interlace the fingers, and we will stir something really wonderful up today. Who knows what it will be? Maybe we'll find out later. And you can, if you want to, go really deep, that high squat. We'll be doing this to both directions. Just reverse when you feel like it. Stirring. Okay, now we're gonna continue with this horse stance. It's called. Okay, so here we are in horse stance. We're gonna take this into our skater's lunge, which we haven't done for a few weeks. So I'll mirror you. You can go to your right. It's not quite the same as Warrior 2 because you're gonna extend one arm and bend the other. And then if you remember this, the chest comes straight forward. Okay, so I'm not going over my thigh. I'm coming straight forward. A speed racer on an ice rink, skater's lunge, and we come up to horse stance, so these strengthening poses. Skater's lunge to the second side, your leg is bent, your arm is straight, right arm is bent, your chest is coming straight forward, towards the floor in front of you. Now we'll just do one more round, we'll go a little faster, horse stance. Stance. Oh, just for fun today, bring the hands to the hips, keep engaging the tummy and the pelvic floor, and lift off of the heels if you want to. And hold and breathe. This is another of our uplifting movements to brighten the energy, lift the mood. Lower the heels, step or hop, feet together, and just bring one hand to the sternum and then down to the belly. I was talking the other day about the thought of being calmly active, actively calm, and it is a balance. Sometimes I get really motivated to do things, but it's not as calm as it could be when I get super involved. So the thought of being calmly active, and this movement here from Qigong allows us to just kind of settle the energy, find that place of balance and calm. Finish with both hands to the belly. So I had one more thought with the feet wide. I think we have time for this, and then we'll come down to the floor. I just wanted to do a triangle pose because we did the revolve triangle just a bit ago. So I'll have you go to your right, so I'll be a mirror image of you. And this is what I did the other day. I was trying it with the side stroke arms, and I actually kind of like this because it elongates both sides of the rib cage. You can stay here, or extend both arms like so. This takes a bit of concentration. Strengthen the legs, the feet, and the core. And then the traditional triangle pose, you'll bring that bottom arm down and lift the top arm up. And really open the chest and perhaps lift the gaze towards the ceiling. Steady breath here. Come on. Just take those triangle pose variations to the second side and shifting. And then like you're doing this, the side stroke in the swimming pool. So one arm going one way, the other direction. Both arms framing the head. I like this version a lot. We'll come to the traditional Trikonasana. The bottom arm comes down, the top arm comes up. You can move towards the ceiling if you'd like. Just a soft gaze, steady breath. Okay, so just to finish the standing phase of the practice, you can do your wide-legged forward fold. We do that quite a bit. If there's something else you'd rather do, another balance, or anything else that would serve your practice today, you can take that at this time. In the forward fold, lots of possibilities. So I really like it for releasing the neck. Take them up slowly. We're in the forward fold. You will now be in 5-pointed stars. Zipper hop the feet together. And again, just make sure you feel complete in the standing practice. We will have a chance here to get a sip of water, to change temperatures or lights or let pets out or whatever else you may need to do. And then we will have a little Wednesday rock and roll. Down with care. Wait, is it Wednesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday. I have these flashes where I'm like, I have no idea what day of the week it is. Oh, it is Wednesday, so that's good. So we'll do a Wednesday rock and roll. And we'll just take it 3 or 4 times. Now, as we come to seated, just a brief moment for something that we didn't get done earlier because we started standing today, and that would be extending the legs and just pointing and flexing the toes and turning the toes in and out, the legs a little bit wider. What I thought we would do today is a seated position that we're going to just hold for a little bit, so it almost will have the flavor of a yin yoga practice. The last couple times I have been doing pigeon with you, and if you feel like you really want to do pigeon pose, you can do it again, but we did it a couple times this week, so I thought this would be a different sort of hip stretch instead. So I will be a mirror image of you, I think, if you want to bend your right leg and bring it over your left. Now for some folks, staying just like this would be great. You can hug that thigh in, maybe flex your foot in front there. Okay. And then if you are comfortable bending both legs, as if you were going to do cow face pose, Gomukhasana, you will come to this rather tricky leg position. Now the focus today is not going to be to lift the arms, it's going to be just to hold here and breathe and enjoy. So what you may feel like trying is I usually lift the hips a bit to try to stack that one knee on top of the other, and I try to bring my feet one sort of right across from the other, and then you can sit nice and tall, hold on to your toes, relax your shoulders, maybe even close your eyes. The hips are chattering away here, they have a lot to say, so I don't assume that everybody is in this. I know for knees and sometimes hips it's not comfortable to have both legs bent. Please be in the version that suits you best today. And then we'll just take about, I don't know, maybe 20 seconds, half a minute here, which means really being in the present moment. Okay, so each exhalation is a chance to release and relax wherever we're feeling a little pull. Relax the face. The spine is nice and long here. The hips are getting this very interesting stretch. Now in yin yoga, this is called shoelace pose, and they hold for 3 to 5 minutes. So just so you know, it could be held for quite a long period of time. I think at this point, since we haven't done this one for a while, we'll come out. Okay, so uncross carefully and just keep your legs a little shake. Maybe repeat pointing and flexing or toesing out. Okay, and then your second side, and one side may be different than the other. Your leg is crossing, and if you're not crossing both legs, you can hug the thigh in, and you'll still feel a good little pull there under the sits bones. Stay here. If you do want to go to both legs bent, just ease into things. So my little trick is to lift the hips up to stack one knee over the other, and then since we're doing more of a shoelace than the cow face position with the arms, we will try to have one foot across from the other. And then if you can hold on to your toes or your feet, elongate the spine so you're sitting nice and tall. Relax your face. And just follow the breath. And there's a conversation likely going on between your hips and your brain. So listen, but don't get too wrapped up in anything. Just try to relax a little more with each exhalation. This makes me think we should do this more often because there is a lot of sensation in the hips here for me anyway today. Just a little bit longer. Okay, so again, this could be held for 3 to 5 minutes, and we won't take it for that extended period, but just another breath. Ready, undo your legs. Now, whatever would be a useful counter stretch, I was thinking maybe a forward fold of each person's choice, and it could be legs straight out in front or bent. It could be a wide-legged forward fold. And we won't take a long period of time here, maybe just about 8 deep breaths, just to stretch out. So again, it could be a forward fold of your choice. I'll just show a few different possibilities. Okay, so the seated position that we did and forward fold as well both have a calming effect. They really kind of bring us into the cool down phase of our practice. When you feel complete in your forward fold, we'll come on down to our backs, and I think I'll just kind of suggest that everyone take the stretch or pose or poses of their choice to conclude the practice today. And as I often do, I'll just kind of run through some possibilities. I know I often do kind of the same sort of thing each time, but in some ways it's nice to finish with what's familiar. We haven't done this one for a few times, the lifting of the legs, a little bicycling movement. And you can always bicycle in reverse, forward and back. You can do the crisscross of the legs. If you practice shoulder stand, this is a good time for that. If you want to do a little figure 4, or maybe a reclined twist of another sort, it could be just bent legs going over to one side. Different ways to twist on our backs here, so take what feels best today. You could do a bridge pose, a happy baby. Sometimes just not even thinking too much about it, just kind of seeing where the body takes us into these familiar final stretches. And I'll have you all stay on your backs and continue just to move in any way that feels good. You'll be preparing for relaxation. As you feel like you've gotten the final stretches that you need in, begin to come on down and get your pillows, your blankies, your eye pillows, whatever may help you to feel comfortable. And just let the arms be long by your sides, the palms facing up. You can let the feet drop out to the side, relaxing the belly, and closing the eyes. Take a big breath in and exhale. Once again, just letting go. If there is anything tight or tense, or just recurring thoughts that aren't serving you, just move them along. Allow the breath to find its steady rhythm. Belly soft, shoulders releasing, the arms heavy. Relaxing the legs all the way down into the be heavy. Sink back into that. And from here we know there's nothing more we need to do, certainly nothing to fix or figure out, to accomplish, to achieve, no obligations. It's a very special time, no questions to answer. So just enjoy this time where we can relax both the body and the mind. Nothing more we need to do, just dropping back, releasing, relaxing, and letting go. Time of stillness. And this is the chance just to, with your mind, become aware again of your body. To take in and appreciate the place of calm that you've arrived at. So definitely a bit of a reset if your week has been busy or you do have a lot on your plate for the future. Just a way to kind of touch base with the place of calm and peace within. And that will be rejuvenating, I hope, for the rest of the day and the week ahead. Ready, add movement. Maybe little stretches to start with. And maybe a full body stretch if you want to, reaching the arms back behind your head, stretching the legs long. You can bring the knees in. You're still on mute out there, so you can yawn or sigh or make any sound that you'd like. Moving the jaw sometimes feels good. And then we'll just conclude coming back up to a seated position, the feet out in front or legs crossed. So come up with care. And as you get up, rub the hands together. I'm just going to briefly finish with our V for victory move. Okay, so just like this, sometimes we would take this into Kapalabhati or something of that sort, but for now we'll just hold and breathe and feel a sense of optimism, courage, strength, all good things for the days to come. And from our uplifting V position, we'll just softly bring the hands down to the heart center, prayer position. Inhale and exhale. Close your eyes if you want to come back to your intention or affirmation if you have one. And then we will prepare to close the practice with one round of Om, and please join me if you'd like. So keep the hands right at the heart and we'll inhale to begin. Inhale. Shanti, Shanti, peace. And let's take a moment to acknowledge and appreciate the bright light within by bowing the head to the heart. You share that bright light with others, and you can do that in this next moment as well by lifting your gaze and honoring the light within one another with a namaste to all. Thank you all. Namaste. Appreciate you joining me today. I still think it's Wednesday, but maybe I'm not sure now.